Hi, welcome to Friday Night Chats with Garage Geek. I'm going to do something different this time. So it is Saturday morning. Again, I've been sick, and yesterday I was just coughing with body aches. My COVID is gone, obviously, but I've read and heard from many people that the symptoms can linger on for months, so that sucks. Anyways, this cough is just lingering. So I'm going to break this video into a couple parts. I just got a comic book order in, and so I'm going to treat the first part of this as an unboxing. So first off, I'm going to show off some Epic collections that I got from Marvel. I have actually 6 of them plus a small book. So right now I'm just ripping up the plastic. And that's one of the things I'm doing today. I'm taking all my Epic collections and I'm putting them in order because it's hard because there's so many and you have to insert them in and it just throws off everything. So it's a monumental task. All my other shelves are just so disorganized. The whole room just needs a makeover. So I'm actually going to be doing it throughout the entire week. I'm also, with this video, going to do a record review of 5 records I just bought. And there was one more thing. Oh, I might show my comics on the wall, but I might make that a separate video. Okay, so here we have Daredevil Epic Collection number 6, Watch Out for Bullseye. So this is those prime years. So this is from 1974 to 76. This is what I call the good stuff. This stuff is awesome. Next, I've got Avengers, Acts of Vengeance. Now, this has John Byrne in it, and I grew up with John Byrne and his era comics, and so this is also going to be prime stuff. Although it's from 1989 to 1990, so it's a little bit later. Let's look at a cover. So here we go. That isn't a Byrne cover, so he's probably mixed throughout. Okay, next I got Fantastic Four, The Dream is Dead, and this one is volume 19. So if you didn't know, what's interesting about the Epic collections is they print the full run of comics, but they don't print them in order. So they might print, for example, number 19, this is from 1988 to 89, but then they might have skipped 16 and 17. And so you've got a whole hodgepodge. So, for example, they have a list here. I don't know if you'd want to pause that. But, for example, in Fantastic Four, they've printed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they jumped to 17. And they didn't print those first 8 in order. So this is a project that's been ongoing for a while. I jumped in near the beginning, but I did miss some. I'm missing about 5 or 6 Star Wars, and I'm missing about 1 or 2 from the rest of the collection. But otherwise, I've been good. Because right when they started putting these out, I didn't have a lot of money, so I kind of missed out. I'm kicking myself. Let me take a sip of tea. And I just hope that the couple that I missed, they will reprint. They have reprinted one that I missed so far, so I was able to get that, and I'm happy. Okay, the next one is Carnage. And this is Web of Carnage. Now, this is from 94 to 97. I wasn't a big fan of comics at this time. So I know a lot of people are. This is like their prime stuff, Carnage. To me, it was just a little over the top. Carnage is a serial killer, and I mean, he just doesn't, like, it's a comic for kids. Like, he can't really live up to the premise of that. It just, yeah, I never thought it worked, to be honest. And Venom was a cool villain, but then he became a sort of anti-hero. I didn't like that shift either. So they're also reprinting a lot of the comics in this, and this is triple dipping for me sometimes. But these are so cheap, and they're so cute. So they are comic reprints. If you are interested in comics and don't want the Epic collection, this is a way to go. So, for example, this one costs $16, but I probably got it for $9 online. And yeah, they're just going through the comics, so pretty cool. Now, Marvel recently got the rights to Aliens, and so they are printing the Dark Horse stuff. This is weird to me. So this is the first Aliens Epic Collection. It is volume 1 from 88 to 90. And let's see, like a cover. I'm pretty sure this is from the Dark Horse. Yeah, this is from Dark Horse Presents. I'm actually really looking forward to reading this. I've never read this stuff before. Huge Aliens fan though. And then finally, I got an Epic collection of Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is number 5. I could tell you right off the bat, I'm not a fan of that cover art. I actually need to do a deep dive into the Star Wars stuff. I haven't read any of these, and I really do need to jump in there and start reading them. Those were the Epic collections that I bought. Like, as you could see, I didn't buy anything but Epic collections. I'm just, you know, because of money's been tight recently, I stopped buying Omnibuy. So I just focus on these Epic collections. I'm so jealous when I watch other people's unboxing videos and they have all these great hardbound books that I just can't afford to buy. Okay, I might as well show these. I got 2 magazines. So this is the non-sports update. These are fun. Let me just go ahead and open it. This tells you what's going on in the card world. Now, the card world has exploded. Like, people who are like randomly into cards, you can't afford it anymore. 1 box of cards costs like $200 to $500. It's insane. The cards are made of like metal, and it's really sad because people, you know, general collectors like me, we can't afford it anymore. Oh, it came with a little envelope inside. Let's see what kind of cards I got. Oh, free cards. Oh, look, I got an Edgar Allan Poe card. Oh, pretty cool. The Freak Brothers. How fun. And this must be, oh yeah, Ultraman trading cards. Pretty cool, free cards. And they came in just as like random envelope. And so they just go over like the cards. Oh, it's actually pretty boring. Maybe there's some ads in the beginning. Yeah, make it worth buying. Anyways, and then I also got Shutter magazine. So I'm a big fan of these. I'm a big fan of this new company, Warrant, and they're putting out these 70s styles magazine with this gorgeous art. The stories inside are silly but fun. Okay, so now let's look at some comics I got. So here's Gunslinger Spawn. Pretty cool art. Remember, I buy them for the covers. Batman Gothic Knights. That's a pretty cool cover. Oh, please in the comments, tell me what are your favorite covers. Looney Tunes, that one's for my husband. Let's see what this one is. I'm seeing these for the first time. Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries, so that one's also for my hubby. Wolverine Icon. Women of Marvel. I kind of like these, just the characters by themselves. I'm hoping that I can get enough where I can have a wall display. Oh, good. We got the Alex Ross villains coming in. I'm going to make a video on these because I have the heroes. And now, oh, here's a reprint of the first appearance of Wonder Man. Now, some people absolutely hate reprints. I love them because there's no way I could ever afford that. Here we got Spider-Man. That's a pretty cool cover just with Spider-Man by himself. Superman. Look at that cover. I don't know. Look at that villain. If she's a villain, wow, she's cool. I wouldn't know what to do with that. Oh, like literally, I wouldn't know what to do. Okay, Scorched. This is another Spawn. These Spawn covers can be gorgeous. Here's another Alex Ross Venom. Elektra by Alex Ross. Yeah, I'm definitely going to make a display of these. Here's Fu Manchu. My fingers are covering up. There's Fu Manchu. Here's a Harley Quinn. This is Jenny Frison. I'm a big fan of her art. Philadelphia. That's a pretty wicked cover by Image Comics. One of my favorites, the Scorpion. Look at that. Alex Ross. So good. Oh, here's Juggernaut. Red Skull. All of these are Alex Ross art. Here's the leader. Hulk villain. Kang. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be showing these off. I don't think I got all of them in this order. I think there are a few more coming. And this is Emma Frost. And she's not really a villain anymore. She became leader of the X-Men. Oh, this is a crazy cover. This is the Joker, the man who stopped laughing. Look at that art. That is crazy. Here's a Lee Bermejo cover. I'm a huge, huge fan. In fact, this is the same comic, but I wanted both covers. That's horrible. Well, look at that Lee Bermejo cover. It is gorgeous. Oh, here's another Jenny Frison. Doing what looks like a take on Hamlet. Here's a Disney, the Disney 100. I'm not buying all of these, but that one's cute. An homage to Hulk #1. Here's a Black Cat by Alex Ross. The Phoenix, Alex Ross. That's also a complicated villain. Mephisto. Wow. Here's a reprint of a Batman comic. So this one is number 357. I actually don't know why this is a reprint. They call them, as you can see, facsimile editions. There must be a first appearance in this one. Here's the... It's most likely the Super Skrull. Super Skull. Skrull, not Skull. Super Skrull. But I can't tell. He could just be a random skull. Skrull, not Skull. And here's... this is the last one. Fantastic Four, number 5. Alex Ross. I've been missing out on these Alex Ross covers. They're gorgeous. So I need to somehow go back and get these. Look at that. Okay, so that is my comic haul. I am going to fold this into my video. I'm going to stop for now. Got to continue cleaning. Hey, welcome back to Friday Night Chats Part 2. So Part 1, I did an unboxing of some comics and graphic novels that I got today. And Part 2, I'm just going to ramble. I really didn't do a lot this week because I'm still feeling crappy. I didn't even feel like watching TV. It's weird, but I don't mind playing my video game while I'm sick. But something even as passive as watching TV, or even listening to books, I just didn't want to do it. But for some reason, I didn't mind playing my video games. So I did that kind of a lot. It's kind of weird, though, if you think about it. So this morning, I got up and I just started tearing my garage up. There's so much junk in here that I've got to go through. Like, I don't know if you could see, like behind there's a whole bunch of junk. I got to go through all of it and I got to put it in its place and I got to get this place looking good. So, I'm actually finally on vacation. So, because I'm a teacher, it's spring break. My spring break started. I actually had, yesterday off, Friday. And I needed it though, because I still needed to recover. And even now I'm getting like, I'll do a little bit of work and then I get just like kind of weak and I need to sit down. My dog wants to come over. Okay, Aries, come on. Okay, so along the comic vein again, I want to talk to you about something. So I bought this little magnetic box. It's all black. I put this cover in here and I put a spine. And so when you flip it open, it's basically for carrying comic books. Like if you go to a comic book convention, you can store them in here, or like a portfolio. But what I did was I ripped up these Masterworks books that I didn't want, and I took all the covers of the comics and I put them in these plastic pages with some of the splash pages. So now I'm a big fan of comic book art and the covers, and I like to display them in my room. And so I've got this collection of comic book covers, and I want to keep it going, right? But those Marvel Masterwork books, they're expensive. And, I mean, if I could find one, like, with ripped covers or beat up for cheap, that it would be perfect for this. But I decided, why don't I try this? I bought an extra epic collection of Spider-Man, the first volume. So this is going to be all of his first appearances in Amazing Fantasy 15, Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 17, and Annual Number 1. And Annual Number 1 is something special. I'll go over that. But I was thinking of just disassembling this book and doing the same thing. Now, the one problem is the paper. The paper is much thinner than in the Marvel Masterworks. So I don't know if they'll look as nice inside those plastic sheets, right? And another thing is, I think with this one, the binding might get in the way. Like, I don't know if it will come away as clean or as neat. I'd probably end up having to cut more, so it might not look even. But anyways, what do you think? Should I already have this. I bought this as an extra, just as an experiment, and I'm going to basically rip it up and put it all in those plastic cases like I showed you. Do you think I should do that? Because if I do that, it's kind of an investment, right? I would have to buy others. I wouldn't be buying every one. I would only be buying the older comics, because in order to buy these comics, to actually own them and display the covers, these are hundreds and hundreds of dollars each, like sometimes thousands, and I'm never going to be able to own them. So I just thought, well, I could just have the covers and be able to display them. And so what do you think? Should I just tear this thing up? And if so, would you like to see the results? So that was one thing I wanted to bring to talk about today. The other thing I wanted to talk about is I wanted to continue my conversation. I wanted to continue the conversation about what's become cancel culture. So we were talking about the movie Tar and the issue of cancel culture. And then I also was talking about this because it came up with one of the followers that is on my channel. So he was saying, about Bill Maher, because I talk about Bill Maher a lot. And then, he got angry because Bill Maher really put down Stan Lee when he died, right? And so I was actually going to research that and show exactly what he wrote, Bill Maher wrote. And then, that was going to go into about, Marvel movies and Martin Scorsese. And then I also wanted to bring up some other artists that I really, really like who have done some questionable things. Now, I also mentioned Orson Scott Card. Another artist that I absolutely love is Cat Stevens. So many of his songs is about, being positive and spreading, love and what have you. But then, he came out and he supported the fatwa against Salman Rushdie. And, that haunted Salman Rushdie's life for decades. And we also know that ended. It hasn't ended yet, but I mean, Salman Rushdie, had some severe consequences because of that. And another one, and I wanted to do some research and just have some more that I could talk about that. Another one I think I mentioned was Donna Summer, right? And the gay community. So I had a few older ideas, and then of course there are so many. And then another person who follows me, he wrote that there's this really great book, and I didn't write it down, but I had read it already. It's all about cancel culture. It starts out where this young girl, she posts frankly, it's a racist tweet before she gets on an airplane. And by the time she got off the airplane, she didn't know, but that tweet had gone viral, and she lost her job, I think it was, and she couldn't be hired for years. It totally impacted her life. And the book is really, really good because it basically reaches out to people who were canceled and the consequences of that. It's a really good book. It's really interesting. I highly recommend that you read it, and I can't even think of the name, so sorry about that. Like I said, I shouldn't even be rambling this much. I was going to do research and have all my notes, but I just have not had the energy, to be honest. So that's what I wanted to do. So if you would like me to actually research these things and have those notes ready for a real conversation, let me know. Or should we just drop it and move on to something else? I did see 2.5 movies, so I want to talk about them. And unlike normal, I did not look up the movies and have pictures ready. So the first one I saw actually like a week and a half ago, but I forgot to mention it. And that is the A24 film, Lamb. Now, I really like A24 films. They're always weird, and they're usually very interesting, and many of them are actually great movies, like Hereditary. That thing was so chilling. That movie was crazy. But what happens is, I'm still trying to find the image of the Lamb movie. What happens is a lot of their movies, like, they're known for quirky movies and horror movies. And so here's the poster of it, Lamb. And many of their movies are promoted as being horror, but they're not. They might be like psychological, or there are elements of horror in Lamb, but it was marketed as a horror movie, and fans who just want horror, when they go, they get disappointed, and then the movie gets bad reviews. But this movie is actually really, really good. Now, I'm not going to spoil it or talk about it. It had good acting, very interesting music, beautiful cinematography in the movie, a compelling story, like mythological ramifications. It is a really good movie, but like I said, it probably didn't find its audience because of the way it was marketed. And that also happened with It Comes at Night. Now, that was another movie that I thought was amazing. I loved it. I even bought the score on an album because I loved it so much. And I thought that had so much going for it, but I think it was marketed as a zombie movie or a plague movie. And even though it has certain plague elements in it, it's not really a horror movie. And so the people who went thinking that it was a horror movie, they were disappointed. So again, it was because of marketing that these really, really good movies get bad reviews, or they get panned by the audiences. But I would recommend Lamb. I thought it was really good, but I mean, it's not like what's the Megan? I mean, Megan is just a straight up horror movie, and that's like a kind of cheesy horror movie, like, a killer doll. All right, the second movie that I watched was Knock at the Cabin, and that's a movie by M. Night Shyamalan. Let me go ahead and grab the image. Now, what the heck? It moved over. Okay, so there you go, Knock at the Cabin. I'm a huge fan of M. Night Shyamalan. Even his really, really, supposedly really, really bad movies, I've enjoyed. I find something in them. And his last movie, Old, I absolutely loved. I think that was the one right before this. So this movie with M. Night Shyamalan, you have a expectation that there's something, going to be a big reveal at the end. So I always go into his movies just wanting to experience them, and I'm not trying to worry about the ending or try to figure it out. I just think that takes away from the fun or the ride. I mean, I do like to look for clues to see what's going on. Like, there's imagery in this movie. There's a lot of insects in jars, and that has some ramifications, kind of image-wise or metaphorically in Knock at the Cabin. I'm not going to spoil it, but basically there's 3 people in a cabin, a family, and they're basically alone in the woods, and these 4 strangers show up. So it starts out like a home invasion, but it goes different places, and I don't know if the ending is going to be satisfying for everyone, and that's a problem because with so many movies, if the end isn't good or as expected, it will cloud the entire rest of the movie. So people won't like the rest of the movie if the ending isn't up to par, let's say. But I enjoyed this. There's 7 people in it, and that's it. 7. And all of them are great. The acting is great. The situation is interesting. I really, really enjoyed it. Now, is this, the best horror movie? No. It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. And if you like his stuff, then I think you will enjoy this movie. I think that's about all I have. Like I said, I don't have a lot going on. I've just been playing video games a lot. The same video game, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm just addicted to it, and I'm just tearing up my room, and I gotta all this stuff. I've gotta just make this room nice. And since I have a week off, I'm going to try to get as far as I can. Oh wait, I did one more thing. So I've been talking about my digital art, right? And so I actually only did one. My goal is to do 1 per day. But seriously, with the way I felt, I did 1. So I did this. Now remember, I am following the instructor, and I'm doing it step by step. And there's no way I could have done this on my own at this stage. But what is really interesting about doing something like this, you learn the process. Now I'm going to show you this. This is the video. The program records what I did when I did it. Now, I mean, those are the steps that I took in order to create it, and it speeds it up, right? And so the thing that I want to say about digital art sorry, that was gross. Okay, so that's it. The thing that I want to say about digital art is that it's much different than paper art. So like so many things done digitally, it's about layers. Like if you noticed, every one of those things that I did, it was like adding something new on top. And let's say I wanted to go back to the rocks. Well, later I'd go to the rock layer and I'd add more. So it's like building layer upon layer. That's how digital art is done. It's kind of the same way, I guess, when you touch up a photo, or something like that. You do it on layers. So if you're not used to digital art, when you make a regular art piece, you basically you start with whatever and you add to it. But once you add to it, the bottom layer can't be changed, right? So you have to know where you're going from the beginning. But with digital art, you almost don't have to. So let's say I made the rocks in the pictures and then I put the mountains. Well, I have to know that the rocks are going to be in front of the mountains at the beginning. But with digital art, I could put the rocks here, or I could put them here, and I can decide later which layer I want them to go on. So in one sense, that's digital art is actually very different from regular art. And also regular art, you don't have to worry about the effect on the paper. Now, I actually hope that soon I can do more with real art, because I want to learn the technique of blending colors. And I've been watching a lot of videos on that. It's really interesting. So I hope that I can do one regular art piece and one digital art piece, and then I could kind of compare them. So anyways, that's what's been going on with me. I'm sorry again for all the coughing. I know that's gross. But what can you do? I can't help it. It's just like so gross. So I'm going to try to edit this out, but I know a couple places I coughed when I was showing you that video. So it's going to be difficult for me to edit that out. If there's anything that I talked about that you would like to comment on, please, do so. Oh, I watched the third movie, right? But we didn't finish it. It's an Italian movie called Still Time. I'll talk about it, next week. Anyways, thanks again. Also, if there are any of the comic book covers that you really, really liked, would you please put that in the comments? Again, thanks for everyone that watches. And thank you for all the comments. And hopefully when you see me next week, my room will be in order and I will be healthy.